What's going on, guys? BriarRabbit here. Yesterday I talked an awful lot about whether or not Destiny may be a COD killer. But what I didn't ever mention during that video was Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, the next game in the franchise. A lot of people are pinning really high hopes on Advanced Warfare, and there's a lot to like there. There's the mech suits, there's all sorts of cool stuff, cool new ideas that are happening in Advanced Warfare that may or may not get Call of Duty fans reinvigorated, get them really excited for the next game, and keep them playing for a full year. You know, I've been playing Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2 almost on a daily basis. I explained a lot of this yesterday. I played Call of Duty 4. At the time, I was really a Halo fan, so I stuck with Halo until Modern Warfare 2 came out. And then Modern Warfare 2, the pull was just too strong for me. I loved all the mechanics in Modern Warfare 2. I just had a blast. And basically, I've been playing nearly daily Call of Duty since then. For, 4 or 5 years now. And I gotta tell you, I'm a bigger fan of Ghosts than most people. A lot of people out there in the community really don't like Ghosts. I like Ghosts. I understand that there's some problems with Ghosts. You know, it's not as fast as Black Ops 2. There's more camping. The IEDs are the worst equipment ever invented by man. But I do like the game overall. I think, yes, it is a slower paced Call of Duty. It was a nice change of pace, though. Black Ops 2, I always felt that the character speed in Black Ops 2 was too fast for the network code. I believe that. That's why you saw all those kind of crazy camera angles and you'd be getting shot around corners all the time. So I almost think that slowing the characters down was necessary for Call of Duty's engine. The network code in Call of Duty's engine could not comprehend what was going on with the characters and the bullets at that speed. So slowing it down, you'll notice that you feel like this is the most solid hit detection in Call of Duty in a long time, if not ever. Other game engines seem to be handling it better. Titanfall, obviously, it's a very fast game, but the hit detection is spot on. I feel like Destiny is a very fast game, and again, the hit detection is spot on. I was really impressed with the quality of the network during their alpha. I was having a great time playing multiplayer, and I never felt like I was getting killed for no reason. It was never not my fault. Can't say that about Black Ops 2. It was always my fault, but I'm digressing here. What I really want to talk about is Advanced Warfare, the game that is going to save the COD franchise. And it's hard to tell at this point. We really don't know a whole lot about the multiplayer in COD, but I will say we do know a lot about the single player. And even though I'm not a big fan of the single player in any of the Call of Duty games since probably Black Ops 1, I do think that it serves an important part even if you're only a multiplayer gamer. It attracts new people to the game. So if you're going to have a great multiplayer experience like Titanfall, I think it's really important to have a single player experience as well, because that's what attracts new players. People say, oh, I kind of like how this game plays in the single player. Let me jump online and see how I do in the multiplayer. I think Destiny really figured out a great way to do this. You know, all the loot that you can find in the single player. Oh, I wonder how good this will be in the multiplayer. Advanced Warfare, though, I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one here, but I cannot get excited about that single player. It just does not look like fun. Maybe it's bad demos. Maybe it's the people who are playing it are just going really slow through the levels to just kind of show off like graphical fidelity. But it just looks boring, and that is bad news because that is not going to attract new players to the Call of Duty franchise, and that has me really worried. Now, there's a lot of new mechanics that are going to be added to multiplayer. These kind of mech suits are really exciting stuff. Could really change the gameplay of Call of Duty, add verticality, add speed. We've got a new engine, supposedly, somewhat new engine. You know, it's always hard to tell how much is new and how much is old in these Call of Duty engines, because every year they tell us they've based the game on a new engine, and every year, well, no, it's still basically the Quake engine, but with a bunch of additions to up the graphics and up the speed of the game, you know, that kind of stuff. So this year when they tell us, yes, it's a new engine built specifically for next-gen consoles, but there's still some old code in there. And we knew that before you said it. They say that every year. We know that the engine needs to be replaced. Everybody knows that it needs to be replaced. I think the Call of Duty guys are probably a little scared that if you replace the engine, you'll lose that intrinsic Call of Duty feel. And that's scary to not only Call of Duty players like myself who enjoy that kind of fast-paced, really tight action, but I think it's scary to the developers too. Can we recreate the feel of Call of Duty if we make an entirely new engine? You know, this engine is based off Quake. Quake came out, what, in the early 2000s? That's an old engine. And it, you know, it shows, you know. Black Ops 2, I felt like that game, the engine was never as bad as it was in Black Ops 2, just because that netcode was so awful. You never had so many deaths in a game that you felt were completely undeserved, but in that game, they were common. It was very frequent. I think a lot of people have forgotten how bad that was in Black Ops 2. A lot of people have kind of gone back to this like revisionist history of Black Ops 2 being the best the series has ever offered. But in reality, when we were playing Black Ops 2, when that game was the new game, people were complaining like crazy. Everybody hated that game. The YouTubers were playing other games. They were playing Modern Warfare 3 or Black Ops 1. You know, now Call of Duty Ghosts, it's the same thing. You know, this is a cyclical thing, but I think that it is building on itself. You know, people are getting sick of Call of Duty. People want a new game. People want new and exciting experiences. And Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, while I think there is some new ideas in there, like the mech suits, I don't know if it's enough. You know, if we're playing Call of Duty again the same time this year, and we don't have like the huge community we had in the Black Ops 1 or the Modern Warfare 3 or, God forbid, the Modern Warfare 2 days, you know, I think this game is just on a steady decline. And it saddens me because I still really like playing it. But, you know, it's old. You know, it's old, and people have played it to death. So the developers are really in a tough spot here. Do they change up the formula? Do they really make like a fresh, brand new game and just call it Call of Duty? Or do they really have to feel tied down to that Call of Duty feel and those mechanics like kill streaks and perks and all of that stuff that just says Call of Duty all over it? It's a tough question. I don't envy Call of Duty developers. I think it's a really rotten position to be in. Yeah, you're going to make a whole lot of money for making this game. Almost guaranteed. But for an entire year, you're going to take an unbelievable amount of shit from the community. On YouTube, on Twitter, people are just going to be frying you over the coals all the time. You know, look at Call of Duty Ghosts. It's too slow. It's too boring. The IEDs are terrible and game breaking. You know, it is a tough thing to be a Call of Duty developer. Not only that, but if you actually have some new ideas and you really try and change it up, you really risk losing the franchise forever. What if you lose like all the sales? Like everybody, the game comes out, the reviewers say it doesn't even feel like Call of Duty anymore. It's no good. The game, you know, the players who play on YouTube all the time say, yeah, you know, I'm moving on to Destiny. I'm moving on to Battlefield 4. What if that happens when it's your turn to make your Call of Duty? You know, you ruin the franchise for Activision? It is a tough one. So, is Advanced Warfare going to be able to save Call of Duty? I don't know, man. They got a big mountain to climb. And so far, they're really taking baby steps. They haven't shown me anything that's gotten me really excited. And I'm a huge Call of Duty fan. So, let's hope that they can turn it around. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.